working with Nimpet, and our relationship goes way back. So I'm very happy to be back here. So usually I used to give a talk about what Nimaya systems do. So today I'm going to give a talk about application that was developed by Nimaya Innovations for a certain set of reasons. As and when we go, we'll start talking about it. I wanted to give a brief about why this app came about, why it is important, and I will also give a very quick demonstration of how this app works. So let me give you a little bit of preview. Sir, I think I'm going to share the screen now. So let me know when you're able to see it. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is in the PPT mode. I think you can put it in the reading mode so that it is easily visible to all.
Now I've shifted it to reading mode, as into the slideshow. Is it visible yet? Hello?
No, ma'am, not yet, not yet.
Okay, it's still in the slide. Oh, hold on. I'm shifting it to the slideshow mode now. Let me share it one more time. Is it better now?
It's
It is
visible,
not.
but it's visible, but still it has not gone in the main mode.
For me, it is showing it as the slideshow mode. What I will do is I will share my entire screen to stop this confusion. Hold on. Sometimes that happens due to some kind of a glitch. How about now, sir?
Yes, yes. Now it's okay. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you.
great. So what we're going to talk about today, we've named it GITA, and there is a backstory to as to why we named it GITA as well. So, but let's get to it, and then when I show you the demonstration of the app, I will give you the backstory as well. And just to give you an advanced detail, this thing. Initially, for the first 15 minutes, I will run through a PPT, and then I will join from my phone and give you a proper demonstration of the app in the phone itself, right? So sorry for any kind of inconvenience that's going to happen in between. All right. So GITA actually means growth and intelligence tracking application. So why we came up with GITA is this is how Nimaya Innovation started off. It started with my PhD, eventually became into the first set of experiments. Then we proved that our systems accelerate the rate of learning by more than 60% by doing a proper pilot and a target scenario with children with autism across the country. And then we started our Nimaya Innovations after my PhD got over. And we started developing the first set of series of robots. And I still remember former director was the chairperson for our inauguration. And with tying up with NIPMED is how we inaugurated our products in the first place. So once all of this was done, and of course, literally within a week's time after we started deploying our systems, COVID hit us. And one of the things that was always behind my head was that, so what you're saying on the screen right now with a series of devices that Nimaya developed at the start. This is what the intention of Nimaya was, to develop different training methodologies. Like we use robotic devices to train children with autism in their daily life skills. So it could be like how to open a door, how to close a door, how to put on a shirt, or understand bilateral coordination, difference between hand-eye coordination, concept of up, down, right, left directions, all of these. So we developed a series of 6 to 8 set of devices. Right now it's 8. At that point it was 6, addressing more than 50 different psychomotor skills. and all of these are IoT based devices. So what happens is that it was not only easy for the child to use it, but it was much easier for the therapist to handle as well. So it we usually work in the train the trainer process. So we train therapists, and the therapists use our devices to train the children. So this is how we've been deploying it in every other school as well. And so far, I think more than thousands of children have been trained. But yeah, this is a slightly outdated PPT. Sorry for that. So one of the patterns that we kept finding was most of the children, sadly, in this scenario, most of the children were brought in for diagnosis only around 6 or 7 years of age. Right? People usually miss this huge early intervention window, which, as everybody in this area knows, that it is such a terrible thing to do, because the earlier you intervene, the easier that they learn. So when we went back a little more, had started speaking to parents based on this, because COVID posed a different set of challenges for us, and we were trying to see how we can do an online therapy and training and all of that. But then that is when I realized that even educated people who have 2 degrees, 3 degrees, and all that still think that having a child diagnosed with autism at a very young age is a taboo, right? They think that if my husband started speaking late, a lot of people in my family had this, but eventually it got set up. But they tend to miss that early intervention process, and this happened even with a set of my friends. And this I was able to diagnose during the COVID situation, where they came to me about when the child was about 5 to 6 years by the time, but the child had had an epilepsy as early as 4 months when the child was born, and that had posed a lot of psychomotor skill issue. The child was on the brink of autism. The child had, was on the spectrum, but they did not take the child for diagnosis. So during COVID, it became very difficult, and then they finally reached a point where they wanted to go check it. So once I started talking with a lot of parents in this mode, I realized that however, how much ever all of us in the disability sector tried to push the awareness, people tend not to see it unless it is a problem for themselves, right? So I was thinking, how else can you make this easier to spread awareness? If this is going to be in a metropolitan city, then I can't even imagine how it is going to be in the rural sector. And though we have a lot of Anganwadis working, a lot of healthcare centers working, and all of it is happening, but the level of, I'm not going to tell negligence, that's a harsh word, the level of non-acceptance of anything wrong with their child was very, very hard for parents. So keeping all of this in the mind, we decided we are going to develop a milestone tracking app. That was the whole point. But once we started talking with a lot of people and started going through a lot of literature review to see why the milestone tracking app was not reaching people, is when we realized two, three biggest factors. One biggest factor was nothing was custom made for India, right? The second one that we came across was that everything was very, very complex. They either had to go through any commercially available products that you take right now. They have to go through pages of theory, or have to go through 7, 8 minutes of video to even understand what the parents have to do for the child to figure out the output. And then they have to enter the data in such a prolonged manner. And none of this was leading to an actual screening or a diagnosis. I am going to be very honest. Our app does not diagnose anything. We only give you the factor to track the developmental milestone, and we will suggest you to go check with your psychologist, or for a diagnosis, or to a developmental pediatrician to further check the process. So we basically just track the milestone of the children. So that is something that I want to make it very, very clear. So once we started doing this, I realized that I started talking to a lot of elders in the family. This was the most unique point of GITA app, and one of the reasons why it's called GITA. So we started talking to a lot of elders in the family, and I realized that indigenously, especially for India, old grandparents had different ways to figure out if the child had any kind of disability or not, at least to some extent. So as and when I started recording all of these, I realized that there were such amazingly simple things that they do in everyday life. The moment, from the day the child is being born until about 5 years. Sorry about that. One second. So until about 5 years, and how their developmental milestone has been tracked is it was a fabulous idea to know. So I started recording the different scenarios and different ways in which how it was indigenously done in Indian history by our grandparents or grandparents and generations of grandparents, and started comparing them to absolute standards that's been used by India, by America, by Canada, and all of it. One of the other things that we ended up finding out was that so these are a few factors why Gita is important and it works. We've just compared it with other off the shelf products that's available right now. So one, it is customized for India. The second part, why is it customized for India, is that every single character is relatable. So we had sorry, one second, I'm very sorry about this. I think there's been a small tiny bit of an emergency. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm sorry about the inconvenience. Okay. So one of the features that we wanted to make sure was that every single app had a Western child or a Western parent with a very unbelievably staged scenario, which was not very relatable for Indians. I spoke to a lot of parents, more than 175 to 200 parents, plus or minus, to figure out what exactly they were missing out. So then we decided we have a designer who sat and draw every single design scenario. We wanted to bring in characters which was relatable to the Indian sector, and most importantly, we wanted to bring this app in regional languages. This way it can reach far and wide, and this regional language aspect is not available anywhere in India right now. So right now we have this app in Hindi, in Tamil, Telugu, and English, of course. And ours is the first app where you can change your language at any point. Instantaneously, you can change your language at any point in the application, and you will be able to follow in whichever that you want. We hand drew every single scenario so that even people who are in very remote villages, who have access to smartphone but may not be absolutely literate to follow any kind of language, but they still have access to a smartphone or a tablet through an Anganwadi, will be able to just look at the picture and figure out what activity has to be done. The best part of this is all the child has to do is one activity per week, and it takes less than 2 minutes for that activity. During doing all of these until the age of 5 years, we will be able to track how much of a developmental milestone your child has been missing out on, which your child has been excelling in, and where they have to concentrate on. And our app starts showing your data, and it can be based on so many researches. It the autism or any kind of disability can be screened as young as 8 months. So based on all of these is how this app was developed. We have, and of course, an AI algorithm running at the back, which keeps track of your child's developmental milestone as and when you keep entering the data, and constantly giving you a graph at the back and clearly shows you where your child is lacking or where your child is excelling. This not only ended up being an app for parents who missed out on the milestones, but it also gave a lot of assurance for parents who felt very safe using the app, because they knew that okay, their child is within the milestone and they didn't have to worry. So it kind of gave them the assurance which they were very comfortable with. So these were the kind of feedbacks that we were able to get. All of the data here has been based on 3 years of research which has been done by me, during and post my PhD, and started developing this, working with a lot of different doctors and pediatricians across the country. We worked with people from Kolkata, we worked with people from Telangana, we worked with people from Chennai, and we've accumulated all of these research data put together, and that's how GITA was developed. So the usage is very, very simple. So we have two versions of GITA for that reason. One is GITA, which is basically a parent operated. You can find it on the Google Play Store and Amazon Play Store. At the end of the talk, I will end up uploading those links as well. Right now, the Amazon Play Store is not available because for the past 2 days, we've been running an update for the next few years. But your Amazon is open and you can download the data and you can definitely install it. User for the parent operated is very simple. Download, register your baby's name and your profile, install, install and then register, and then you just have to use, which I will give you a run through of. The other version that we specifically developed for central government organizations was GITA, GHITA, which is basically growth, health, and intelligence tracking applications. This is predominantly for public health workers or Anganwadi workers. We have actually launched our GITA with Pondicherry government already, with the social welfare minister. We're also working with both Telangana and Pondicherry government to launch it in their Anganwadis. So how is this different from the GITA that is operated for parents? So the ones that is for the health worker, the first thing that we do is we give it to you in a tablet. Right? We give it to you in a fingerprint enabled tablet, or optional without a fingerprint as well. So what you can do is that you can basically, we will install the application. We will also give you a level of access where you as therapists or the Anganwadi workers can access so many different types of children under you. So you will be able to see the progress, you will be able to share it with the parents if required, or you can use it for your data collection as well. So this was one extra layer that we added to this app. In addition to that, we've made it so flexible that the vaccination setup that is required for a child ever since they're born, prenatal, postnatal, whatever is required, can also be added. This is an option that we provide. So if any government specifically requires, we need this set of timetable to be added to it, we go ahead and add it. And then we will customize the entire app for you, and we can put it in the tablet, and you can take it and use it within your institution, outside the institution, wherever it works. We are working with a couple of institutions in Pondicherry who are using these apps. And we have, of course, visual dashboards where you can see the instant progress of your children. So yes, of course, it comes with the data storage and all of that. We can always have another talk when, if anybody wants to approach us for this GITA app. So I'm going to stop my presentation here, and I'm going to join from my phone so that I can show you the actual working of the app. Ramchandra sir, I'll join from my phone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Can you hear and see me?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yes, madam, we can see your screen.
Perfect. All right. So as you can see, I am not going to show how you're going to register and all that. Let me first run you through the features of the app, and then we can always go to see how to start it from scratch. So as you can see, this is the home page of the Gita app. And here in the bottom left, I mean, bottom right, you see the profile. Here, as you can see right now, all the data that you're seeing is, of course, just random data for us to keep track. So here you'll have to enter father's profile, a mother's profile, any other family member you want to add. So here you can see the pink tab at the bottom that shows I'm just marking it so that you can see it. So that shows where you're supposed to click for the profile. And then you can always shift to the child's profile. I hope you're still able to see the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So here in the child's profile, the best part is this application helps you to add any number of children that you want in your particular profile itself. There are apps that restrict you to add more than just one child because otherwise you'll have to use another number even if you have a twin. But in our case, we have made it so specific that if you have a twin, then there are a few different parameters you need to enter as well. So there are a few. Why our app is different is because when you are entering the mother's profile, you can see the basic of date of birth and all of the mother is there, and then the employment. And apart from all of that, a few things about the child's delivery has to be updated. For example, how heavy the child was born with, or any kind of diagnosis was done that the baby have a baby jaundice when it was born. So all of these kind of datas are also being entered here. As you can see, these are just few of the data that I am showing. The reason we have all of this is because your screening will, these data will also be considered when we are screening for your child. So once your profile is entered, as you can see at the bottom, we have the different stages. So the moment you go to different stages, we've made it very easy in such a way that you can see 1, 2, and 3 years is already open, correct? Under first year, we have split it into different months as 0 to 2 months, 2 to 5 months, and then 8 to 13 months. Now, if you click on each of the months, you can see that different activities have been listed underneath. So, for example, this is one of my very special activity because this was something my grandmother, who was 89 years old at that point of time, was telling me how she used to check for developmental milestone for her kids, and she had four of them. So she was telling me how these all worked. So the moment you click on the activity, you can see a very simple, tiny paragraph telling what the activity is about, right? From the day the babies are born, they should move their arms and legs. They should react in response to someone touch and when moved. This test will help you to check if your baby has motor skills and responsiveness, right? The moment this is done, you click on proceed, you see very, very simple diagrams of the baby at the top, where just by looking at the baby itself, you will be able to understand what the activity is supposed to be. Now, in the bottom, you can see place the baby on a cloth or a floor on bed. Once the baby settles down, slightly pull or tug at the end of the cloth near the feet of the baby. This is what you are supposed to do as a parent as the activity. Now the best part here is you don't have to enter pages of data telling my baby did this, my baby did that. All you need to do is enter if the child has responded or not. And you can see the camera button at the bottom. That is for you to take a picture of your baby and keep a record. The best part is the record is locally held and we do not have any access to any of the pictures of the baby, to make sure that all of your data are intact and it is completely secure. So that will only be stored in your local phone, but you can always access the directory to do so. So all you have to do is press responded, or if I remove the responded, you can see the options at the bottom changing to be responded or yet to do. Let me mark it in case people are not able to see it. So you can see this, it is yet to do and it is responded here. Now, Now, if I press responded, it goes to the next activity. So it is practically just one activity per week, and you are sorted to handle your child's developmental milestone completely. Now, going back to the stages area, you can see in this entire list, you can see all of these activities are in green, meaning your child has already done all of these activities and your child has passed every one of them. In the second year, as you can see, there are a few of them in red, meaning your child is still not been able to complete all of these activities. Here, I want to add one more layer. So, what happens is you obviously enter the date of the birth of the child, right? So, after that, what happens is we give you a margin of 6 months for your child to complete it. All of that also has been taken into consideration. Most of the parents come back and say, "Oh, my child is not doing it exactly at that point." Your child does not have to do it exactly at that point. No baby is going to do it on that date, but we give you a 6 to 8 months margin, which has been already inculcated into the application. So what happens here is after the 6 to 8 months margin, your app here turns amber. It turns to orange, meaning your child has missed that margin, but does not mean the child is in a danger zone. When it goes to red, it means your child has missed that entire margin and you need to check with your doctor for it. So here you can press this and see one of the red tabs. Baby, by this age, baby should be able to understand boundaries like start, stop, and should also be able to run without support. This test helps you to assess the baby's concept of understanding. So here you can see beautiful diagrams on a very Indian based scenario. And here you have a very small paragraph as to what the baby is supposed to do and what the baby's response is supposed to be. If the child has not done it, you can just press yet to do and you will go off to the next activity. So this is how this entire set of application works. Now, coming to the progress. Here, as you can very clearly see, we do not just track the physical milestone of a child. We track the psychomotor skills, social interaction, communication, self awareness, and understanding as well. So each and every activity that is there will have 2 or 3 different components of all of these. So doesn't mean one activity has to be mapped only to psychomotor skills. So one activity could be mapped to psychomotor skills or social interaction, communication, and self awareness. So it could be combination of anything. But each and every monthly data or each and every activity will amount to all of this in 100%. So at this point, what happens is you can click on any of these graphs to check how the child has uh, performed in at each and every sector. So it clearly shows in the overall progress underneath. At this point, your child should have been at 100%, but right now your child is at 41.94%. So clearly stating where are the areas where your child is lacking. So of course, I am just like to remind once again that these are completely just dummy data that we have fed in this, and it's not of any child's whatsoever. And here in the question mark, it kind of gives you an understanding what social interaction means. You can close this up and you can go back here. Similarly, you can press on each and every one of the progress to see how much the child has done. On top, you have a legend very, very clearly showing how much the child has responded, what are the amount the child is yet to do, and which is the amount the child has not even tried yet. So the legend is given on top, and you can follow those legends to see how much your child has done. So we have done the stages part, we have done the profile part, and now in the progress part, you can see on top you have 3 different tabs. So for each and every year, you have a small dashboard that shows the activity status of your child. So you can, that is just to give you a quick idea of how much your child has, how much the level of activities your child has done. So as I was telling you, uh, okay, yeah, let's go here. As I was telling you, this first activity was, suggested by my grandmother as to how they used to do it. So ideally, what they do is they put the baby onto the blanket and slightly tug because that slight movement will make the child move their hands and legs. The same thing has been done in American standards and Canadian standards in a different way. But what I am trying to uh, emphasize here is that all of these activities have been made in such a way that you don't need any special tools or any special scenarios that you need to build. Every single thing that you need is just the parents and whatever is in the house, and every single activity that is part of this can be executed. So this thing that you're seeing right now is pure imitation basis. At a certain age where the imitations should start kicking in, we have this mother making sounds and the baby following it. And that is what you're going to respond as your babies respond, as the child has responded or not. Similarly, each and every one of these until 1 year, until 2 years, and 3 years have been updated in this app. So you can see there is this small bell button that shows on the side, right? That clearly gives you an idea as to how much activities is left out for your child to try. Just give me a second. Uh, and here, this gallery is where if you take photos, it will be listed here in the same way your stages are listed as well. So here you can immediately go and switch between any of your child. So right now I was seeing Raya's data. Now I can click on Ava's data and then I can open and see what is Ava's data, what is her progress and all of it. So you can see that Ava's activities are here and progress can be seen. Similarly, you can shift. Of course, this was written in Tamil to give you an option that every data can be in any regional languages that has been inculcated as part of it. Though we have right now, the app is being created in Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu and English. You see this A button on the side on top. I'm not sure if you're able to see it. The list on the right top is basically the list of languages that is there. But the A button next to it, we've also added automatic Google Translate, though it might not be absolutely accurate right now. Before we want bring in every other language in India, we wanted to add Google Translate so that uh, people who, for example, we trialed a couple of days in Assam as well. We had a professor from Assam who had called up and wanted to try this app in Assamese. So we used Google Translate to give them the best version possible. So eventually, once they confirm that they require it for their government, we will make sure that we have a proper translator who will sit and convert all of these and make it an Assamese based app as well. The important part of this app is, like I told you at the start, the important feature is that you can change your language at any point in time. All you have to do is either go to the profile or at the start page, click on the rightmost list. Now I've instantly converted into Tamil. So you can see in progress, in Valarchi, in Payirchi, in all of these, you can every single data has been shifted to Hindi. Even in the pictures, they have been translated to Hindi. So for easy understanding, I'm just shifting to English again. And in the settings, you can, of course, check out what were the standards that we used, where are the offline downloads, any other link that is required, anything else that you would require to contact us, everything is given there. Now coming to the home page. There's been a small glitch in this page because of the internet issue where one line alone is not getting converted, but that's fine. I guess this is going to be easier to understand. So now coming to the home page, we have three simple features. One, the picture that you see is basically the next activity that you're supposed to do. One second. Going to child profile, change it to Raya. Yes. So Amba's profile was created in Tamil. So you can continue having the entire profile in Tamil. Now that I've shifted to Raya, you can see everything is back in English. So this page, as you can see, this shows these pictures basically give you an idea as to what your next activity is supposed to be that your child is supposed to try. And here on top, you have two options. One, it gives you a quick look into how much progress your child has done in every single aspect that we are tracking or every single developmental milestone. Then you have a small area where it gives you a warning or it basically tells you that your child is safe. So if your child has accomplished every milestone so far, it basically tells you a small message telling that your child is in perfect, is following the milestones perfectly. Otherwise, in this case, since it's a dummy data, we've missed out on quite a bit of opportunity. I mean, quite a bit of uh, activities. So it clearly says that Raya is a little behind in her milestones. She has not completed 62 activities for more than 3 months. Please reach out to your developmental pediatrician about progress. The activities that Raya should have completed can be viewed on the stages page. So you can go to stages, check out what are the stages that Raya have not completed, then finish the following accordingly. So this is how the entire developmental milestone GITA app works. In addition to this, uh, in case of GHITA, GITA app, the reason that we have that app is that in this profile, you will also end up having a public workers profile or a therapist profile or whoever is required. I would like to tell you right away that this parent app is absolutely free. We do not charge even a little bit because we wanted to spread this awareness as much as possible. So I request every single person here to send it to anybody who has a child from birth until 5 years to use this app to track the developmental milestone. And for the government Anganwadis, we charge an extremely minimal fee, but we can always talk about the fee and then get this sorted. We are also very happy to inform that this GITA app is in negotiations with Dubai government right now. So hopefully, with a few tweaks and changes, we will be able to launch it there very, very soon. That's one of the things that is happening right now. They're very, very interested in this app because it is a wholesome developmental milestone app that you don't find anywhere else. And saying that, I hope I'm just going to keep this online right now. If anybody has any kind of doubts in usage of the app, please, Rajesh sir, I request them to turn on their mics and they can ask me any questions, and
And
then we can go ahead with it.
now you want them to ask questions or
Now we'll ask questions, sir, because the reason is that this
okay,
app, like I've connected on my phone, right? So
okay,
as and when I'm connected in my phone, if they have any doubts, I might as well clear it out right away.
okay. So okay, then I'll unmute everybody then. Just a second.
Yes. Diana Vinci, ma'am, I will post the link of Amazon Play Store, and I would also like to show you. Hold on, sir. Let me show you this as well. If you go to Nimaya Innovations web page, which also I will post on the screen. So this is Nimaya Innovations web page. Second, just type Nimaya Innovation, go to the home page. Sir, I hope you're able to see the screen, right? You're
Yeah,
able to
yeah, yes,
see what I'm, yeah,
yes, ma'am.
okay, perfect. So here
I have
you
also
can see,
unmuted the audience so they can ask.
perfect. So here you can see the details of our actual products and you can see the list of products here. And here there is a tab for GITA where you can click. So here you can see a few more features of GITA. You can see how to use the GITA app. You can see a few features of them. And here, please do not click on the first link that you see here because we are running an upgrade in the app that is there in Google Play Store. So you will not be able to find it for a few days. I will send it around through Sir, and he can always circulate it the moment it is reinstalled there. We're just running a quick upgrade for 2025. So you can go straight down. If you scroll down, you can see here there is an Amazon App Store. You can click on that. When you click on that, you will open up a page like this, app free to download. There is a link called Get App here. Here, when you click on Get App, you can either enter your phone number or your email ID and download the app that is required. And Ramchandran sir, can you post the two links that I sent into the chat box?
Yes, yes. Just a moment.
Yeah. So there is also okay, right now we only have a Android usage, but we for everybody who has an Apple phone, we provide a web application that can be used. So the link of that will also be put by Sir. I've sent both to him. You can download it from either. So if you are an Apple user, until we come out with an iOS device, because across every area where we have collected data, only 3% of them are Apple users, and the rest of them are all Android. And also most importantly, all the GITA applications for the government is going to be put on an Android tablet. So we wanted to concentrate and perfect the Android application rather than go on to a iOS right away. But we are already working on it. Not to worry. In a couple of months, that should be launched as well. But right now, please do download the web application, and you can always use it directly on the web application for all the Apple users. And for Android users, you can always download it from the App Store, which works. So anybody has any doubts, please do ask me.
I have unmuted all. So anybody who would like to ask about the doubts or how to download, please go ahead. Yes, Dhanalakshmi madam,
Good,
go ahead.
yeah, good morning, ma'am. I have one doubt. Ma'am, this app, whether mothers can use independently without teacher support. This is my question, ma'am.
Absolutely. This is purely for parents. That was our absolute intention. The one thing that we did was that we made sure all of our activities were easy to use for both parents and therapists because we didn't have to make it more technical than as it was. So that is why this app was very, very specifically developed for parental usage itself. You can please go through it. You can do all the activities with everything that is in the house. All you would require is probably one mat, a couple of cups from your kitchen, couple of spoons. These are the kind of things that we require. Every That is why I spent more than 1.5 years curating every single activity in such a way that it can be done in a household area. It can be done by any parent, grandparent, mother, father, elder sister, anybody who can handle a child can use this app and definitely end up, tracking all the milestones. There's no doubt about it. You do not need extra effort. You do not need an extra education for of any sort.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
Yeah, Lalita. Can I use this app for my clinic, madam?
I am getting a lot of feed. Yes, ma'am.
Can I use this app to my clinic, madam?
Yes, ma'am. So if you want to download it and use the version that is already there, you can use it for your clinic. But if you require data from on the backside as to how you want to track the child, then we provide those services as well as part of our tablet. So that will be on a charge
Oh,
basis, but I can share my number here. You can contact us and we'll provide
yes,
you with your services.
sure, ma'am. Amazing, your wonderful work. It's really helpful for those who are really suffering. And as my past 30 years of experience, none of they don't have aware of this. Heartily thanking you for such a
Thank you.
wonderful app that you have provided, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Lalita ma'am. It is so nice of you to share this because it means a lot. I've spent, I think, with this year, it is 11, 12 years of my entire life that I have been working in this area. And it means a
Amazing,
lot to
amazing, ma'am.
see the efforts coming through. Ma'am, Lalita ma'am,
Thank you
please
so
do
much.
call us anytime. The number that's on the screen
Yes,
is
yes,
my
sure.
number only. And yes, and
Okay,
I
ma'am.
can give you a
Sure,
run
ma'am.
through of how we need to work. We'll get you the tablets, whatever is required.
Yes, ma'am. Your phone number, ma'am?
There is a question put in the chat box.
Yeah, yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure.
So,
Thank
My
you.
phone number is in the chat box. Yes. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for your
Yes.
wonderful presentation. If someone doesn't have a cell phone or any device, do they have an option or alternative to do this growth? Actually, yes, sir. We are working on the booklet as well. We were planning to develop this booklet for Rajiv Gandhi College of Medical Sciences. You know, the one in Pondicherry. We were working on the booklet. For some reason, I think COVID really put a break on that. But yes, sir, that can be done as well. Not a problem. This is something that we can take up and immediately get to you as well. If I'm not sure who had sent Som Krishnan, sir. If that is something that you are interested in, again, please do give me a call. We can work on the number of copies that you need in the method that you want, and we can get this for you.
yes, Justin, you had to raise the hand. Please go ahead with your question.
And we can also probably look into leaving those booklets in NIPMED as well for the parents to use in case they don't have a. That I think Rajesh sir will have a talk after this.
Ramya ma'am, can I hear you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir. I can hear you.
It's an app for early detection or early intervention, or it serve both the purpose.
It more to do with the detection than intervention, but it does serve the purpose to an extent because as and when you are doing those activities itself, you will kind of understand repeatedly doing those activities will help the child. But this is not in a particular process in way where a therapist would teach a child for early intervention. So I suggest you use this app for basically screening. Go to your doctor, get a proper diagnosis, and always you can reach out to NIPMED or any other therapist who can start working with your child. And also, of course, Nimaya is there to help you with all the psychomotor skill issues as well. So I would
For
suggest that though this serves a little bit of it, I suggest you use it for detection.
ma'am, for parents, those who are using this app, it is chargeable or it is free of cost.
Right now, for the parents, it's completely free of cost. That's how we've been running since 2020. 21, yes, 21 we launched it with Pondicherry government and it's been free since then. For the parents, it's absolutely free.
So for a particular age, for example, for I am registering for a 1 year child, if
Mhm.
uh, that age group activities are automatically coming on the screen, if I am right. If
Correct, sir.
child
That's how it works. But
if child
you
fail,
still,
feeling any items, those items we need to train the child for uh, achieve that activity.
so I would suggest again, so if you're registering for a 1 year old child, I actually thank you for this question. So it will clarify for a lot of people. If you're actually registering for a 1 year old child, what happens is your 0 to 1 year will also show as activities. You just have to quickly enter if the child has done it or not. You can either try it with the child, or if you know it by heart, your child has done it or not, you can go ahead and fill it all by yourself. But I suggest it since it hardly takes a minute or so, even if your child is 1 year old, you still try the basic activities. You may not have to do all the, if your child is shaking your hands and legs, those you can do it just by looking at the child, correct? So you fill
Okay.
in all of those data so that we can track it completely and give you a holistic, a percentage of your development. And if the child is not able to do that activity, you don't necessarily have to train the child. You can try the same activity a couple of times. But again, since this app is more to do with screening rather than as an intervention, I suggest you try the activity a couple of times with a little more margin and then always check with the doctor if the child is completely not able to handle it.
For registering a child, if this app is automatically asking any history, like whether the child is a preterm baby, whether the child is cried at birth or need an ICU admission, something
Yes,
like
sir.
high risk
Yes.
category, something like that, it is give any information.
Yes, when you are actually filling in the profile, let me show you. I'm not sure if you can, since I've already filled it, you may not be able to access all of those right now. There are few of the datas of a child that we will definitely ask, like the diameter of the child's head, if the child was a preterm baby, if the child cried at that point of time. All of these questions are part of the deal as well, because we are very particular again, because we are going to give you a holistic view of the child's development. We have to take all of this into consideration as well, sir. It is part of the questions. You can see a few of them. Gestation period is there, head circumference is there, weight is there, any other physical disabilities, any structural deformities. We don't go into absolute history because it's not some data that we can take it. Eventually, Nimaya will be equipped for all of that. But right now, we only take data. Yeah.
Yes, is it okay, Justin? Your question?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay.
And all the data are absolutely secure. It's not leaked to anybody because we have a clause that is very clearly given in our terms and conditions. So you can please go through that as well.
There is a question in the chat box again. Any research specifically done on this app for its efficacy? If a special education student wants to have this app for research, will it be free for them?
So since it is part of my company, you can definitely work with us and we can help you take this research part of it as well. This was something that I and Rajesh sir anyways were talking, because the data that comes out of the other Nimaya devices, we still do research on that and publish papers. And other than me running this company, I am a assistant professor in MIT Manipal right now, and I teach robotics here as well. And my students have been working on several devices that we work in the research area. So I suggest please do contact us, because it will be an IP infringement if you end up using it without our knowledge. You are absolutely open to doing any research on it. I am somebody who absolutely loves doing research. Like you see, I've done my entire PhD on this area. So please do uh, reach out to us. Anything that you require, we will be able to help you. We will help you to take it forward. We have a lot of problem statements that you can work on. And in collaboration with each other, we can definitely work. We are absolutely open to research. And we can, in fact, give you the actual APK so that you don't have to depend on the internet and anything. But, we can give you a special access to you, the admin access to you. You can have a backup data entry, and all of that can be given to you, provided you will be able to work with us. Our data is available, can be exported, converted to, yes, sir, it can be. There is an option in the settings. As you can see, there is a this thing called links. If you go there, there is a particular link where you can click, convert it, and then you can get it. So all Satyamurthy sir, yes, data encryption is all of that done. If you require more details, I can always put you with the employee who's been working on the data encryption part. He can give you absolute details on it. Every single data security has been taken into account.
Maybe Dr. Ramya, you can share your paper link so that interested can go through that paper wherein you have worked on the efficacy and other things, so that people can read, and maybe they can get back to you individually, and they can have a discussion also.
Absolutely. In fact, very recently in BITS Dubai, I've been developing an app for dyslexia as well. And in BITS Dubai's international conference, in an IEEE international conference, we won Best Paper Award for our work. I can send those data here. Let me quickly add this one here. This is one of my papers. You can always check my name on ResearchGate or type it in Google. You'll get the list of all of my papers that is there. Or I can also send the link around to Ramchandran sir.
Yeah, it is there. I have seen in the IE Explorer. It is there.
Yes, yes. It is there in that, and you can check out from my LinkedIn post. You can check out from my research gate. All of these has access to all of my research work.
There is one question from Dr. Soumya.
Yes, I'm just reading through. Yes, ma'am. Soumya, ma'am, you can definitely reach out to us. Absolutely, not a problem at all. Why don't I type down my email ID as well? I think for now, you can just reach out to ramya@moorthy@gmail.com. Ramya.moorthy@manipal.edu. Yeah, I hope this helps. And of course, let me retype my contact. You can always contact me in this number. I will be available all the time. You can reach out to me anytime. No problem, ma'am. All of you are welcome. Thank you so much. Any other doubts? Any other questions?
I think since you have given your contact number and other details, so they'll be asking you a lot.
No problem.
I,
Always
I
open
think
to it.
now time has come to end the session. So thank you so much, Dr. Ramya Smurthy, founder and director for Nimaya Innovations, for sparing your valuable time and sharing this GITA app with almost around 94 participants over there on screen. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and hope many people might have got good information, and they definitely would like to collaborate with you. And first of all, congratulations for having a lot of activities that is happening right now with regard to your app and with regard to your Nimaya robotics. Thank you so much, ma'am. Once again, thank you so much. We'll definitely post in another few months time for another session. Thank you everybody. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your wishes.
Thank you. Dear participants, a feedback link is put in the chat box. So anybody would like to have their certificates, they can fill the feedback form, and then in a couple of days' time, you will be receiving your certificates.
And
Thank you
sir,
all.
please do share
Yes,
the feedback with me if possible. So, just so I could work on it if any other changes needs to be required later.
yes. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Hello.